So what next? What's the aftermath? I mean, because we were joking yesterday, there's going to be like Costanza and Seinfeld just showing up to work the next day, like, oh, hey, everybody. I mean, what does happen now?
It is fascinating. Last night, Manchester City, who are owned by a petrostate, were the second team to walk out on the Super League. And the UEFA, the governing body UEFA, incredibly corrupt. Let's be clear, there's no good guys in this. This is like Dr. Evil and Dr. Evil we're really seeing fight here. The UEFA president issued an instant statement saying, I welcome City back into the European football family, which is predictable but still shocking because 24 hours earlier, Manchester City were the defectors, the turncoats, the devil, greedy, hell-bent on destroying football, but because they jumped off a sinking ship, they were being hailed as heroes. It's as if no one's watched Game of Thrones and saw what happened to Littlefinger in the end. So you've got 14 unsuper teams in the Premier League. They need to, first of all, work out what they're going to do with these 6 returning kind of defanged betas who thought they were alphas, and they've got to work out how do they punish them. Will it be a financial punishment? Will it be points taken off them, which I don't think it will be. But you can see that the spokespeople for the game, your Charles Barkley of English soccer, your Shaquille O'Neal, there's 2 of them. There's a guy, Gary Neville, who happens to be a Manchester United legend. And his statement last night, he said, the Glazers have no place left in Manchester anymore. The Glazers have no place left in Manchester anymore, is what he really said. And, the Glazers are putting out video. They put out statements, a poor one overnight that was not well received, that showed no contrition, a longer one that was clearly not written by the Glazers about an hour ago. And then the Shaquille O'Neal of English football, Jamie Carragher, who happens to be a Liverpool legend, is is the host of every big game. He said, I don't see a future for the ownership of FSG at Liverpool. I really don't. They're making it worse for themselves the longer they hang on. And that's why you get Liverpool owner John Henry dropping the apology video, trying to take blame solely on himself. It wasn't anybody else. I've learned my lessons, though. I'm never going to forget. And it's fascinating. FSG, I want to say, this is what I don't understand. And this is the one piece I need to know a lot more about, is they are owners who are deeply sophisticated. They are owners who had to work so bloody hard to earn the trust of Liverpool fans in the first place, Rich. I don't know if you remember, but Liverpool were run by another pair of American owners, Hicks and Gillette, who ran the team into bankruptcy and just utterly, arrogant, ignorant, incredibly destructive American owners. And FSG worked so bloody hard to earn the trust of Liverpool fans. They took them on 3 years of unbelievable glory, a Champions League win, and then, this is a team that were great in the 70s and 80s, 30-year title drought ended deliriously. It's hard to believe that it was less than a year ago. All of that goodwill, for it to be frittered away so quickly, so devastatingly, and so self-destructively, taking that bridge between them and the fans and just setting it alight, it's utterly befuddling.
It is. I guess the moral of the story is don't mess with the English soccer fan, is what it seems like. That's the moral of the story, is do not mess with the tradition. It doesn't mess. So what are you going to call the Super Team 6 from now on? I mean, is that what they're called? Is that the way it's going to be from now on?
It will not be forgotten. It will definitely not be forgotten. I'm from Liverpool, Liverpudlian, Scousers. I want to make it clear to people who've never been there, it's an incredibly beautiful city. It's like the Baltimore of England. And we are, we're talkers, we're dreamers. But my God, if there are Olympic medals handed out for grudge holding, we would medal every single Olympics. We'd be like China, what China are to ping pong. We don't forget. We don't forgive. I said this to you on God, was it really only Monday?
2 days ago, Roger. The world spins fast, sir.
I said to you, you don't F with Scousers. They will come to you. They will come to Boston and they will destroy. And, so that it won't be forgotten. It really won't. There's a lot of talk about changing the ownership structure in England and whether the fan trust should be given ownership. There's also the dark side, that this is just the Ewoks winning the battle for Endor, and there's a whole war ahead. And we've just won this battle, but these issues are going to rear again. UEFA is still deeply corrupt. I mean, it's Tammany Hall, and slowly, next year they'll get what they want, but just so that everybody gets their cut. I want to be clear: this is not ultimate glory. It's a beautiful moment, and I talked on our podcast today about the poet Eduardo Galeano, incredible man, Uruguayan poet who was obsessed with football. And he wrote something which I've thought about a lot. Ultimately, these owners have watched empty stadium sports for the last year. And the broadcast rights have played well. They can sell these games to China. They can sell these games to Asia. They can sell, in America, we've loved every second, even though there's no fans in the stadium, fake noise. And I think they made a fatal mistake. And Galliano wrote in one of his books, Football in Time of Sun and Shadow, he wrote, "Have you ever entered an empty football stadium?" And this could go for any American sports stadium too. This is not just football, you know that. He said, "Try it. Stand in the middle of the field and listen. There's nothing less empty than an empty stadium. There's nothing less mute than stands bereft of spectators." And that memory, that deep connection, that emotional feeling, just that generational, utter devotion to the team, that is ultimately what the American owners, either forgot or just had yes men around them who didn't bring it up as a... I'd love to have been around that board table, Rich, when they were like, this is what we're going to do. And not one single person, tried to at least scenario change and be like, but what about the fans? That is perhaps the most staggering element of this whole story.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.